You could never shave again. You could go into work tomorrow and tell them you're taking a year off. When people ask for your honest opinion, you could give it to them. But while you're considering these options, driving a Saab is a very good start. Find your own road. Saab. You could go down roads of your own choosing, and you could do it in a car that has been steering an independent course from the very beginning. After all, consider your options. One of the recent luxury spin-offs that says more about your bank account than your values, or one of those established prestige mobiles whose hood ornaments people use as badges, or something so exotic it leads to a significant relationship with a mechanic. Why not a car that reflects your own values instead of someone else's? Why not a Saab? When the first Saab model was produced in 1945, Saab aircraft designers based its contours on the profile of an airplane wing to reduce wind resistance, and based everything inside on performance requirements, not other cars. Form would always follow function, a philosophy we still live by. At Saab, the driver's needs are central to the car's very design. That's why we place the driver's hip at the car's center of gravity, where communication with the road is most direct. So instead of just getting chills up your spine, you're getting useful feedback. And if you've never liked getting the weatherman's permission to go out and play, consider that even the first Saabs had front-wheel drive traction. At the time, an unconventional approach. And because we've continued on our own path, current Saabs have other features you'll be seeing on other cars. Eventually. With Saab passing power, your individual driving style can have free rein. Whether V6 or 4-cylinder, with or without turbo, all Saab engines have 4 valves per cylinder instead of 2, plus onboard computers that increase power and reduce emissions. So passing other cars taxes neither your patience nor the environment. In fact, for many models, the engine is managed by a Saab computer with more processing power than the Apollo computers that put astronauts on the moon. Should you choose to conduct your own lunar observations, you can, in this true 4-passenger, 4-season Saab. With the uncanny traction of front-wheel drive plus advanced suspension, you can follow the moon all the way to snow country. Not just safely, but warmly. The front seats are heated, standard on all Saabs, and the top is triple insulated. If you've been wanting to get a convertible for any reason, this one even supplies logical ones. As a person who enjoys improvising, you and Saab hatchbacks make a perfect fit. Just fold down the rear seats, and with almost 50 cubic feet of space, there's hardly anything that won't fit. Saabs offer the largest cargo capacities in their class, and with the removable privacy shelf, what you carry is only your business. Even with a full complement of luxury appointments, our instrument panels clearly avoid any excess. Everything is logical, easy to reach, and easy to understand. One thing Saabs do go overboard on is safety. Belt tensioners and airbags for driver and front passenger, 4-wheel disc brakes, ABS, plus daytime running lights are standard on all Saabs. And passengers are enclosed in an advanced system of crumple zones, safety cage construction, and side impact protection. The roof strength of the Saab 900, for example, exceeds mandated requirements by 90%. And it's hardly surprising that Folksam, Sweden's largest insurance company, has named the Saab 9000 Sweden's safest car for the 3rd time in a row. Earned not on the basis of advertising postures, but analysis of actual accidents. But whichever Saab model you're considering, each has earned more than its share of high marks. About the 9000 Aero, Automobile magazine said, "You must drive this car." One of the top 10 engines of Ward's Auto World powers the 9000 CS. Consumers Digest for both 94 and 95 called the 900 5-door a best buy. About the 900 Turbo Coupe, Car and Driver said, a dynamite sports sedan. And Car and Driver chose the 900 convertible over BMW and Audi convertibles. Of course, as a person of independent outlook, you're accustomed to forming your own opinions. To help you do just that, your Saab dealer will be happy to arrange a test drive. After all, since you've always enjoyed finding your own road, as Saabs have, don't you think it's time your paths crossed? Find your own road. Saab.
This car meets all safety-related legislation, but that's not the final goal for Saab's technicians. It's just the beginning. Because Saab's goal is not to save the lives of dummies. Saab's goal is to save the lives of people. And you can only do that on the roads in real life. That's why we call it real-life safety. The fact is that no one person is the same size as another. The fact is that not everyone drives at 35 miles an hour. The fact is that not all accidents are perfectly head-on against an immovable concrete barrier. The fact is that accidents do not just happen. The fact is that real-life safety begins with accident avoidance. And the first step in that process is not to get into an accident situation at all. One prerequisite for this is that you see and are seen. Another, that the communication between road surface, car, and driver works all right. That is, the signals from the road are transmitted clearly and correctly to the driver through seat and steering wheel. These are factors that, together with the car's comfort, make the driver alert and make him stay alert during the whole journey. If, despite this, the driver gets into an accident situation, he has to get out of it. And he does so by steering, braking, or accelerating. The car's level of driving safety depends on its road-holding properties, braking capacity, and overtaking capabilities. The driving safety features of a Saab car are the result of a never-ending test driving experience in real life. And real life for Saab is not just dry or straight asphalt roads. Anyone can design cars for these conditions. Saab are designed to suit all roads, whether twisting, rough, or icy. But the bottom line is not the car's 0 to 100 kilometer acceleration time that is important. It is the 100 to 0 time that counts. It just takes a few tenths of a second. The time is the same for every car. The result differs. The goal is to minimize the impact on the occupants of the car, regardless of the direction of the collision. The prerequisite for real-life safety is perspective. Saab's attention to safety goes deep into its past. With its origins in the Swedish aircraft industry, Saab's interest in safety was never a trend, but a necessity of life. Darkness, cold, rain, and snow are elements which are all too obvious to Saab's technicians, not to mention the additional hazard of wild animals. A technician doesn't stop being a technician when he leaves work any more than a father stops being a father when he starts work in the morning. At Saab, a crash technician is not simply a crash technician. Amongst other things, he also works on styling, design, and testing. This ensures that safety aspects extend to all sections of Saab's product development process. In return, the technician gains a broad perspective on safety. The real-life safety concept would be deficient in one respect if the technicians didn't utilize all available information from real accidents. Thorough examinations of the cars, sometimes even directly at the scene of the accident, often provide ideas for technical developments to increase safety still further. The experience from real-life accidents influences the testing methods and gives birth to new types of crash tests. Out of Saab 900's 21 crash tests, only 7 are related to legislation. The authorities make no special provision for the moose. Neither do most car manufacturers. But real life does, and then Saab does too. Through a unique Swedish insurance system, accidents involving Saab cars are recorded on Saab's databank. The technicians analyze this material together with Saab's accident research doctor to identify personal injuries and their causes. This is a tangible way to discover areas in which to improve a car's safety. Real-life experience shows that few accidents, if any, are comparable to a laboratory crash. That's why the body structure is designed to absorb and distribute energy in all types of accidents. The deformation zones of the bodywork incorporate reinforcing elements and beams designed to distribute the impact, thereby absorbing the energy. The shorter the distance between the car's exterior and interior, the more important it is that the energy is distributed over a wide area. The greater the area, the more elements that are involved. The greater the chance that the safety cage remains intact. In an offset crash, the point of impact is smaller, which means that the kinetic energy is more concentrated in a small area. The forces developed can be so strong that the deformation process might even extend to the safety cage. In rear-end collisions, the deformation very rarely reaches the safety cage. This is because the rear deformation elements are not alone in absorbing the energy. Some of the energy is also consumed by the car being pushed forward. It is this forward thrust that causes neck injuries, since the body follows the acceleration more immediately than the head. The entire deformation zone must therefore be exploited in order to equalize the difference in speed between the cars as smoothly and progressively as possible. In this way, the shock is reduced before reaching the car's occupants. This impact absorption is one of the most important areas of the continuing safety research. The softer the body, the more immediate the deformation. The crash boxes at the front, introduced with the new 900, have precisely this function, which also makes the car less aggressive to other road users. A good example that Saab's concern is not devoted to its own product alone, because in real life, it's not just Saabs hitting Saabs. To build a car that meets all the demands from the authorities is not the final goal for Saab's technicians. It's the starting point. The starting point for real-life safety. That means that Saab's technicians utilize the experience from real life to make the cars safer in real life, in a never-ending process. Because in real life, you move the starting point forwards at the same pace at which you gain experience.